Howdy, folks. Greyhawk 4x4 coming at you again, your resident vintage gamer. And it is the midway point of this coronavirus outbreak that we're doing this. And I figured that it had been so long since I had done a video that now that I have some time, because like everybody else, I am pretty much going to be at home for a while. Uh, my main job, my day job, is I'm a pool guy, so I still have to go in and check on a couple things, but there's nobody around, so I'm still isolated if I go in and check a few things and that type of thing. But for the most part, I'm going to be home. So I thought, okay, perfect time to get back into this and explain why I haven't made videos in so long. Because it's actually a lot more complicated than you might think. So let's rewind back to the right around the end of the year when the whole COPPA, the Children's Online Protection Privacy Act or something like that, was the new villain that was on the doorstep. And all of us YouTubers were all worried about, especially if we do anything gaming related, on whether or not all of our content was going to be flagged automatically for children, which meant that basically you're not going to get any promotion through the algorithm or anything. I mean, it was pretty much detrimental if you got that. And so everybody was freaking out about it. People that had Lego channels were in complete panic, and stuff like that. So I had said, I'm going to take some time and just watch, see how things pan out. I didn't feel the urgent need to keep doing videos until I knew where everything was going to stand. Because as I've explained before, until I retire from my regular job, I can't devote to this to doing YouTube videos the way I would like to. Now, once I retire, all bets are off. Then I can go hog wild and spend as much time, invest some money, whatever I want to do to try and make this a thing. And in between now and then, I'm just trying to get my numbers up, if that's a possibility and whatnot. But I haven't been stressing about it. So I took that time. I'm like, let's see how COPPA goes. And then it turned out it wasn't that big of a deal. People weren't getting automatically, flagged as children's only content, and people weren't getting fined, because the big thing was that if you got flagged as that you were promoting to children, or if you said, let me get this right, if you were saying to YouTube that your content was for adults, but the FCC or whoever deemed that it was content that you were trying to get kids to watch, you could get fined a lot of money. So that was the big thing too. But it turned out that it hasn't been the big boogeyman that we thought it was. So right about the time that I had decided, okay, it looks like we're going to kind of be in the clear here. They're going to let people, who generally, genuinely make content for adults, deemed so on their channel, and they're not going to, put them in this gray area where they could get fined and all this. So it was like, okay, get ready to start making some videos. Well, that was right about the time that um, uh, was Rise of Skywalker came out, and my wife and I one day had gone to the movie to go see it, and we came back, and this was right after the first of the year, because I remember we had just taken down the Christmas decorations. And we get back, and it was cold, because we live in Utah, and it was wintertime. And so my wife goes over to turn on the fireplace, and she says, come over here and look at this. What is this? And so I go over, thinking, what's the big deal? And she says, what is that? She points down to where the wall and the floor meet, and there's molding, like on anybody's house, there's molding on the floor, and everything. And there's something coming through for the molding, between the molding and the carpet. And I'm looking at them like, those look like, if I'm not mistaken, that looks like there's mushrooms growing into our home. And that's exactly what it was. So long story short, let's just put it this way, because I could go on, I could do a 30-minute video just about what I'm getting ready to say. The builders who built our townhomes, and we bought this new, it was brand new when we bought it. No one else had lived here before that. They, on our north-facing wall, which is the one that all the snow and rain, whenever the wind's blowing, goes against that wall, the builders had decided that there's some decorative rock at the bottom on the outside wall. They had decided to do a completely shitty job and not put any flat, what they call flashing, underneath to keep moisture and water and everything from getting up into your wall. Not only that, but when they landscaped it, they put the sprinklers, the outside water sprinklers, right up against the side of the house. So with that information, you could probably figure out what was happening in the summertime when the sprinklers would come on. They were literally, the one sprinkler was spraying right up into the wall. So needless to say, our life changed when we found that, because the contractors came in and they started tearing the wall out, the interior wall out. Yeah, you got mold, you got mushrooms, you got fungi, whatever, is growing inside here. And get ready for your world to be turned upside down. I'm not going to go into any more detail. Okay, I'm just going to say you can figure it out from there what that means when they start tearing your house apart. And they ended up doing the entire outside wall, literally ripping it out, the entire wall all the way to the roof. So just, that's enough information. You can figure out from there how our life has been since then. Our interior still is not done. Our interior is still not finished. So there was that. I also started having gallbladder attacks. Now, I don't know if any of you ever had gallbladder attack, but it is a very unique pain right above your belly button in your gut. And it feels like someone stabbed you through, because generally you have pain all the way through to your back. It feels like someone has run you through with a sword. That's not an exaggeration. That's how bad it can be. So I went through a series of tests and all that to make sure it was my gallbladder, gallstones, the whole thing. And then it was like, okay, we've confirmed it. Yes, met with a surgeon. You probably need to have your gallbladder out. But he said, you can also try to change your diet, see if you can do it with that. And I said, how much time do I have to make a decision? He goes, well, you got 30 days. If you don't make a decision within then, you got to come back and see me for another doctor's visit to get scheduled, because the government mandates says that if you meet with a surgeon and then you don't have surgery for over 30 days, then you got to go back and see him again before you can have surgery. So basically, if you want to save the cost of an office visit, you want to do it within the 30 days. So we are still within the 30 days now, because there was a period there of me getting tests and all that other stuff, and I hadn't decided yet whether I was going to get the surgery. And then, ta-da, coronavirus. So now if I wanted to have the surgery, I probably couldn't get it done anyway, because there probably isn't room for me there because it's not an emergency surgery. It's not really an elective surgery. If I had a horrible attack and went to the emergency room, then I could probably get it. But like right now, I'm not having any attacks. So they probably won't let me do the surgery if I wanted to. So I'm trying to control it with diet and everything. So anyway, that was all going on. Coronavirus hits. I'm a pool guy at a city. So of course that involved, whether or not we were going to shut down, which we eventually did. Everything like that. So we get the word, we're going to shut down. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to have like 2 weeks at home, basically, with, except going in once in a while and check on stuff. But for the most part, 2 weeks at home. And I'm already thinking in my mind, I can start doing videos now because I got 2 weeks, and like, I can't get surgery anyway. They're not really working on my house now because we don't really want to have anybody coming in here with the coronavirus and getting us sick. So I guess I'll do videos. The last Friday before we shut down, I'm like, I can start doing videos and everything. My fucking computer dies on me. My main rig. Thank you, Windows 10 update. No longer supporting Windows 7. You gotta upgrade to Windows 10. So I did. And Windows 7, of course, ran like a dream. Windows 10, you can look it up for yourself if you want to. There is a thing called Desktop Windows Manager. It's an app within Windows 10 because everything is its own app, that is completely hogging. It's maxing out my processor for whatever reason, and it's a known bug in Windows 10. And I've tried the fixes that Microsoft, the little pittance of fucking fixes that they offer, and none of them work, of course. And then, of course, they say, well, then the only thing you have left that you could do is reformat your hard drive. So, anyway, the Friday before we were going to be shut down for 2 weeks at work, my computer dies that morning. So I go to work trying to get all the multitude of crap I got to get done at work done, thinking I've got to go get a computer because I cannot be locked up for 2 weeks and not have a computer. Like literally I can't contemplate that. I just, because everything, I'm a gamer, obviously. I wanted to get back in doing this and doing my YouTube videos, and no computer. So I'm running around thinking, okay, hopefully, because this was when already the panic shit started with the panic buying and everything. And I'm like, I'm hoping people didn't just go out and decide they all needed to start getting computers because they're going to be locked up for 2 weeks or more. And I'm thinking, I hope I can get there and get a rig. And luck, I was right there when they opened at Best Buy. I normally wouldn't do that. I would normally have, get a computer built, or get this one repaired. But I knew that that's not going to be a possibility with the coronavirus going on. Nobody's going to be willing to, nobody's going to be open to do that or whatever. So I just bought what is it? I can't even think of the brand now. Some PC Power or whatever. It's a gaming rig that they had there at Best Buy just to get me through. And it's got a good card in it. It's got a 2070 card in it, and everything. And it'll do to get me through this. And then I set up my other computer that had died on me to a point now with its own monitor and everything where now I can basically start really trying to debug that one. And maybe if I have to reformat the hard drive, I'll do that, and everything else, get that one up and running, and then I'll be a happy camper. But and then a couple of days ago, now if you're not in Utah, you may not even know this. We, in the middle of this coronavirus crap and everything else, house under construction, computer dying, gallbladder, we have a fucking earthquake. Luckily, we weren't too close to the epicenter, so the shaking here wasn't, it was decent, but I'm a Californian, and we're used to big earthquakes. And this one was big where it was almost a 6 at the epicenter in Magna. But luckily, we're far enough away from there where the shaking here was, meaning we didn't really lose anything off the shelves or anything else like that. They had buildings that are red tagged up in Magna. They had bricks collapse off. They had cracks in some of the big office buildings where they had to basically shut down and get it inspected by structural engineers before they could reopen it. I don't even know if they've still reopened it. There was part of the freeway that was shut down because there were cracks on the overpass. So it was decent. But anyway, so of course then I had to go in and check all of my stuff at work for any earthquake damage. And so now, today, finally, knock on wood a lot, I was able to do this video because everything seems to be somewhat calm now. And, yeah, I'm just crossing my fingers. And so anyway, that is what's been going on. Now, all that's out of the way, I I do want to start making videos. I'd like to do one if we stay in quarantine like this, or stay in lockdown, whatever you want to call it, because luckily me and the wife are not sick or whatever. So, but my wife is still going to work. She will not stop working for whatever reason, unless they finally close her place down, which they might. But so far, neither one's we're no symptoms. We're good. So, but like everybody else, at least I'm in lockdown. She's still going to work, but so I'd like to do one a day, and I've got a list of topics here of stuff that I want to get caught up on. It's not going to be topical. It's like I wanted to talk about Rise of Skywalker, The Mandalorian, Disco Elysium, my favorite game of last year. The Intellivision Amico, the Dark Tower, Return to Dark Tower board game. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff I want to talk about. So this video is just basically to reset and say, okay, shit's settled down now, kind of, till the next catastrophe happens or something, and I can start doing videos. Don't have to worry about COPPA. Seems to be not an issue now, thank goodness, and we can start doing stuff. And most of you have been sending me supportive messages without knowing any of that shit that I just told you. All the stuff's been going on in my life, and I appreciate that. One of you decided to send me a direct message calling me a fucking douchebag or something like that. But I guess because I haven't been doing videos, so it makes me a fucking douchebag. So anyway, that's where we're at, guys. I hope every one of you out there is safe and secure and healthy, and not going through all the shit that we just went through. But I'll try to do a video starting tomorrow, do one a day on one of these topics. Try and make them 10-15 minutes. This one's a little over 17 minutes now. And we'll go from there. Let me know down below what you think. If you think I'm full of shit and there shouldn't have been any excuses and I should have been doing videos anyway, well, tell me that. I don't care. But that's it, guys. So till tomorrow, we'll catch you on the flip side.